Hello, 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 and welcome to November 3rd on November 4th. I am Rashonda Tate Billingsley.
And I'm Victoria Christopher Murray. And maybe, Rashonda, we should call it November 3rd, the sequel.
Oh,
Because
right.
doesn't that make sense since
That
we're
makes sense.
writers?
That makes sense. We are here the day after the election because the election day looks like it's going to be an election days.
Yes. And I know. But Rashonda, didn't we tell everybody? We
Yes.
tried to tell everybody to get prepared because if they were mailing in votes, that they couldn't be counted ahead of time.
Right.
So we told people it was going to be days, but I don't think we were prepared because last night a whole bunch of people were upset and had lost their minds.
Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't think that I lost my mind. I was upset because I wanted a political victory, but I also wanted a moral victory. And to see that we did not get that moral victory, which was a repudiation of Donald Trump in the last 4 years, that was very, very disheartening.
You know what? And that's a whole nother show because we do have to, after we get past this, I think it would be great to have a discussion maybe with some other people too about why did 52% of white women vote for Donald Trump? Or why did college educated people, why does any American vote for a man like that? After you know what he did, even 4 years ago, I could understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But now we've lived with him for 4 years. We know who he is. So it's very interesting because it has to be more than just your personal gain. So that's a whole nother show. But let's help the people, Rashonda. Let's help the people become more relaxed because today you and I have had a good day. We couldn't get any work done because we've been calling each other.
Right, and we are watching the results as they're being tabulated. So we just want to kind of explain and answer your questions. So if you have any questions, drop them into the chat box, the comment box, and we'll see if we can get them answered. But people have been asking us questions all day long. What's been some of the main ones that you've had, Victoria?
Well, what happens now? Everybody was so nervous this morning. Well, I don't know if everybody on here had our state cheat sheet. LaJill Hunt said she kept that state cheat sheet with her at all times, and she never got nervous because Rashonda and I had figured out all 50 states and who was going to vote for who and which were the swing states. And so we had listed, I think it was 21 Democratic states. They were all going to go Democratic. Then we had listed about 20 Republican states. But the things to watch were the 3 states that we said would get Joe Biden to 270. And they were Wisconsin.
I'm going to put that up on the screen as you're talking. Perfect. Because we were pretty much spot on. So go ahead.
We were spot on. So people can, if they could screenshot this and then they could print it out. All of the blue states, all of the red states. Then there were 3 states that I felt that Joe Biden should try to get to 270. And they were Wisconsin, Michigan, and then Pennsylvania. But then we told people to watch out for those 7 states, right?
Right.
So you read those 7 states because, it was so tiny.
Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Texas, Florida, Iowa, and Ohio. Now, Trump did take them, but we didn't expect to take those. Now,
and in fact, I think the heading says we do not have to win any. But this is what I said. I said if we win 1, and then I said if we got away with 2, that would be amazing. Well, it seems that we're going to win 1, which is Arizona. And we just might get away with 2, Rashonda. We might get Georgia.
We're still waiting on Georgia. And I think that was one of the questions. A lot of people were wondering what's going on in these places. Why haven't they called? Like, for example, I know North Carolina. They're waiting on the votes. But there are tons of mail-in ballots. As you know, Trump has been fighting this the whole time because he knew we would get to this position, or he figured we'd be in a position where mail-in ballots were crucial. So he's trying to stop the counting.
Yeah, but that's not why we have to wait for North Carolina right now. It's just that each state has their own rules.
Right.
So North Carolina is one of those states that allow votes to come in up until I think 3 to 5 days after the election, as long as it was postmarked on November 3rd.
Right.
And the reason they do that is that if you're in line to vote on November 3rd, and it's after 8 o'clock when the polls close, if you're in line, you'll still get a chance to vote. Mm-hmm. And so they treat the mail-in ballot exactly the same way. So what's happening with North Carolina right now, we're not going to get any updates for them for a couple of more days. Mm-hmm. But these other states, we got some updates, Rashonda. Some states were called today.
Yeah, so let's talk about one of them, Wisconsin. Let's start that because that's one of the ones we needed for the road to 270.
I told everybody watch Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. And Wisconsin's a tough state because these are what's called the Rust Belt states, and they're just the blue wall. You know, these are working class people, and we lost them to Trump last time. Mm-hmm. So Trump won Wisconsin by 22,000 votes in 2016. That's what he won it by. Mm-hmm. And in 2020, he lost it by the same thing.
Poetic
justice. Wisconsin.
We got Wisconsin. And though everybody has not called Arizona, I am taking a point of personal pleasure in him losing Arizona because it's been called by Fox News of all places and many other places. So he's going to lose Arizona.
I believe he's going to lose Arizona. I'm trying to remember the exact number, but it's almost like 250,000. It's about 250,000 more votes coming into Arizona, which is why they haven't called it yet. But they're all coming in from Phoenix. And they're all mail-in votes. And see, Trump did himself a disservice when he told people not to do a mail-in vote. Mm-hmm. And so you're claiming Arizona. Well, then you know what? I am claiming Michigan because I told y'all to focus on 3 states. And so tonight, Michigan was called, and that is huge. And they still have a lot of vote to come in, but all the vote is coming in from Detroit and Flint and Grand Rapids. So they said, let us just go ahead and call. Right now, Biden is winning by about 36,000 votes, but that will increase. He will probably win by a good 100,000 votes. So remember I said Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, Wisconsin and Michigan?
Yes.
So that just leaves Pennsylvania. And right now, Trump is ahead. I can't remember the exact number, but we haven't gotten any of the votes from Philly or Pittsburgh. So that's why he sent out a tweet saying that he would claim it.
He would claim it. You know, he's having a meltdown on Twitter right now. He wants to stop counting. And, you know, he's going to pull their cheating card. He wants the votes he only wants the votes to stop counting where he's winning. He doesn't want any other.
Yeah, if he's losing, he wants the votes to continue, which is so transparent. I do want to talk a little bit about the lawsuits because I know a lot of people are concerned about that. But first, I just want to tell people the road to 270. We have so many. I think Biden is at 253 now. So there's so many ways for us to get to 270. So one of the ways, and the ways that I think is going to have this soonest, because the votes are going to be counted sooner, is the state that you called Arizona.
Where John McCain is looking down with a smile.
That's right. And I think he deserves that. And Nevada. And they haven't called, I don't know if it's Nevada, but they haven't called that yet because they have a large amount of votes coming in from the 2 blue counties, Las Vegas and Reno. Right now, Biden is only winning by about 7,000 votes in Nevada, but that's because they haven't counted all the votes from Las Vegas and Reno. So I think they said that they would have their votes in tomorrow by noon.
And so with that, if he wins Arizona and Nevada, then what?
270 electoral college votes, and we will have a president-elect Joseph Biden. Biden, Joseph Robinette Biden, and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. So, but
Yes.
that's just one way, because he could also, if he goes ahead and wins Pennsylvania, he doesn't need any of the other ones. He could also not win Nevada and just do Georgia first. I honestly have a feeling that he's going to win all the remaining states. It's just going to be a matter of time. And once he gets to 270, it doesn't stop. The states that still get called for him just gets piled up. And that's something that, Rashonda, I want people to know and think about, because while you and I wanted a massive repudiation of this man, I think by the time all the numbers are counted, and it won't be for about another 2 weeks, I think we're going to see a couple of things. First of all, Joe Biden is at 70 million votes.
The largest ever. He has actually surpassed President Barack Obama in 2008. So he has gotten more popular votes than any other president in history.
Yes, he surpassed Obama and Hillary.
Yeah.
So, and they're still counting. I think he could very well end up with about 72 million, about 5 million more, which is what I said, about 5 million more than old dude over there. And then, so I think by the time we see that, and then the states are the wins are going to be larger than they looked last night.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only because we had to count the votes. So I hope everybody is calm now. I hope everybody is calm now.
And so that's the way we need to look at it. It is not over, but Joe Biden actually has 4 paths to victory, to 270. Donald Trump has 1.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have it, because he's not, he's not winning in any of the states. They already counted all of his walk-in votes on yesterday. So,
and he's talking about a recount. So some people were worried about the recount in Wisconsin, and that's not going to bring much, right?
Well, no, because Wisconsin almost always has a recount. I don't know if people remembered. We recounted in 2012 because nobody could believe. So Hillary, and it was actually Jill Stein who had a recount in Wisconsin in 2012. And I think when they recounted the numbers, there was a difference, a grand total of 131 votes.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that at all. That is something that's normal. But there's something else he's trying to do, right?
With the lawsuit in Michigan? Well, besides claim everything, he has a lawsuit in Michigan.
Yes, and I just listened to the Secretary of State of Michigan, because she's one of the people named in the lawsuit. And so the lawsuit says that Michigan is counting their votes without knowing what to do. So I find that fascinating, because nobody went up to Donald Trump and told him he didn't know how to be a president, and we had more right to do that. And so he wants the votes to stop, because Michigan doesn't know what they're doing. Now, it's funny that 4 years ago they knew what they were doing when he won. Mm-hmm. But he's saying that they don't know what to do. It's a frivolous lawsuit. We don't have to worry about these lawsuits. Donald Trump himself knows that they're frivolous. He knows he's not going to win, but you know what he's doing?
He's trying to make people think that he was cheated, because of course that's the only way that he could have lost, was if he was cheated out of the race. Now, one of the things that people also don't need to be scared about is the Supreme Court. He claims he wants the Supreme Court to intervene in Pennsylvania. Well, first of all, it has to work its way through there. That's not going to happen in the next few days. So I also want to let people know that we have some comments with people saying Biden has 264. The discrepancy in the Electoral College is because some places have not called it. Yes. And Fox has called it, and that's why they have the 264.
Yeah, some places, it's Fox and the AP
who's
called Arizona.
Right.
The reason NBC and CNN hasn't called it yet is that there are a lot of votes still out, but Fox and the AP are like, yeah, but the votes are going to be for Biden. So yeah, so if you look at Fox, they'll have one thing. If you're looking at Fox, that's kind of good, because we should know what the enemy is doing, or the opposition. And if not, you're going to see a different number. You're going to see 253 if you're looking at any of the other news sites.
Either way, they're both close to 270. And so we are very excited about that. And, one of the things that I want people to be excited about, no, we want every single vote to be counted. But when all of this is over, we need to talk about Florida. So I don't know if
Yeah.
people are aware of what's going on in Florida. We don't need Florida. Florida is a non-issue in the road to 270. But because we want every vote to count, we need to address what's happening with those ballots in the post office.
Yeah, you want to tell people very quickly, and it's in Florida, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia. Interesting, right? So
Yeah.
you want to tell people what's going on? Because you called me this morning and I thought you were hyperventilating.
Yes, so in case you don't know, in Florida and in all of these places, as Trump has tried to do from the very beginning with the mail-in ballots, he put DeJoy in, the U.S. Postal Inspector, because he wanted the post office to be used for his advantage. And basically, a judge in Florida said, sweep the post office, find out any missing ballots and turn them in. And you know what DeJoy said? DeJoy said, no, we're good. We're not going to be able to do that. As if a court order is optional. And that pissed the judge off.
Yeah, Judge Sullivan. And people may recognize him. He's that name, a black judge who was actually the judge in the Michael Flynn case. And when they wanted to get rid of Flynn's case, he said, that's not happening. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't play. And it's going to be very interesting how this plays out. But what's so great about it is that, well, like you said, once it's done, we can focus on this, because my thing is to just get us to 270, and that's it. So does anybody have any other questions? Because, Rashonda, what I wanted to do was to tell everybody, take a deep breath. Zen. I know I told people to drink wine last night, but I told people to bring a glass tonight. People said they ran out of wine from last night.
I just had my bottle on the table next to me. I
just taking swigs like that.
Right. Georgia officials, they had a press conference while we were on, and they said they should be finished counting all of their ballots by midnight tonight.
Which ones?
Georgia. So we're keeping our fingers crossed there. And tell people why Georgia's still in the running, because the counties that are being counted right now.
The counties that are being counted right now are Fulton and DeKalb counties. And so you may not recognize those names. Just say they're Atlanta and all the things that surround Atlanta. So we are going to be good there. They have like a good 250,000 votes. And so there's a good chance. And remember when I gave everybody the chart, I said we don't need those 7 states, but if we got one, Trump's in trouble. He needed all 7. And it looks like we may end up with 2. So I'm very, very excited about that. So if there's no other questions, we don't want to keep you long. I just want everybody to calm down, take a deep breath. We're winning this thing. It's all about numbers for me. And so I gave everybody the chart. And Rashonda, we have not been wrong on those states, have we?
No, not at all. And we are going to take that path to 270. And then we're going to have to come back and talk about all these people that voted for Donald Trump, because they're not going to lay that on the backs of black people. Not this time.
Not this time. I'm so tired of hearing people say, well, what happened to the black vote? And 20% of black men voted for Donald Trump. We may have to talk about that.
Right.
But we can't talk about that when all the white people have voted for Donald Trump. And so what makes you vote for a man like that? But again, that's a different story. We have one focus now. Everyone chill. I promise you, Joe Biden will be named President-elect of these United States of America.
We're claiming it, just like the orange dude is claiming all of his stuff on Twitter where he's having his meltdown. We're claiming it.
Well, his is fake, though. That's
right.
Fake news.
His is alternative facts.
You and I, this is the real deal. And so, no, seriously, it's just a matter of the counting.
Mm-hmm. We're going to put this up here real quick. Stacey Evans, 53% of white women for Trump. Yeah, we're going to talk about all of that. And Kanye West and the 12,000 people.
12,000 people voted for Kanye West, and he was on the birthday party. You know how there's the Democratic Party, The
You know,
Republican
he needs to
Party.
be Trump's running mate.
He was on the birthday party.
They both crazy as all get out.
So can
Okay.
you do me a favor? If I ever tell you I'm going to run for office on the birthday party, can you just ask no questions? Just come get me. Just come get me and just take me away.
Are done. And I'm sure all of the people that joined us will be co-signing on that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. We don't want to keep you. We kept you a little bit longer than normal, but we'll be tuned in. Make sure you're following us on Politics, Pros, and Pop Culture on YouTube and on our social media pages, where we will be following this until the very end, because both of us will be typing in all caps President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
I know, maybe we should do like a Zoom celebration toast when that happens.
When it happens.
With everyone who has supported us. Because Rashonda, you and I have been doing this for 10 weeks.
Wow. Didn't feel it's been a journey.
Yes.
Been a journey, but it's not over till every vote is counted.
Exactly. And even when every vote is counted, we'll be doing these things. It just won't be November 3rd anymore. It'll be politics, pros, and pop culture. And guess which one of us is really into politics?
Both of us. She eats, breathes, and sleeps it. I kind of take a break every now and then for pop culture. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you back here the next time. And we'll see you at the celebration party.
Yes, we'll let you know when it is. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.